Thank you. So let's start. It's the year of the fire monkey. It started already on the February 4th. Every new Chinese year starts on February 4th astrologically, but the celebration happens according to lunar calendar. That's why they celebrated it at the different times around beginning of February. This year it was the 8th of February. To start the topic, some of the people who join us today is more familiar with Chinese, let's say, astrology and the system behind, and Chinese metaphysics. Some are complete beginners. That's why I would make a short introduction. First on 5-element system. It will be very short. Then I will explain and talk a little bit about fire monkey nature. So about monkey, about fire, and about the combination of the two. Then I will continue describing the influence of fire monkey on world events. We will look at the spiritual aspect of it. Then we will look a little bit at business and the different fields of business, how are they affected with the fire monkey energy. We will also have a glimpse on relationships and, of course, the health. So, 5 elements are actually 5 energies. So, ancient Chinese use the elements that people know in nature to describe 5 different energies, and everything you see, everything you do, everything you sense, everything you feel, just everything in our reality falls under one of 5 elements. And these 5 elements are wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. And they're interconnected, and they, of course, influence each other in a specific ways. And we actually look for balance. When there is a balance between 5 elements, then things work, we are successful, we are healthy, we are happy. So it's about the balance between these 5 energies. And when we talk about fire monkey, what would that be? So despite having 5 elements, then there are also so-called 12 animals or 12 zodiacs. And these 12 animals are just another way of describing certain combination of energies. And actually the 5 elements are also in these 12 animals. But then, as I said, we have 12 animals and 5 elements. So the monkey year comes every 12 years. But a fire monkey year comes every 60 years. So the last time we experienced the exact aspect of energies as we do in 2016 was in the year 56, and the next time will be 60 years from now, so in 2076. So every time anyone becomes 60 years old, he experienced the same year he was born. So I'm describing this just to tell you that the fire monkey combination of energies and of elements doesn't happen that often. It's not like every 12 years, it's like every 60 years. And let's look how it was for last few years. So if we look from 2012, where actually a lot of things, they said it will be the end of the world, but actually, on the other hand, is explained as a rise of consciousness, a collective consciousness. So at that time, the energies were water and wood, and then we had water and fire, and then in 2013, when it was water snake, in 2014, where it was wood horse, we had wood and fire, and then last year we had wood goat, which was wood and fire. And it's quite a long period. I didn't go back from 2012 when the metal was not strong, when the metal didn't really had its characteristics. And this is a big difference in how it feels in 2016, because Fire Monkey brings also metal. So it's fire and metal, because inside of the monkey there is metal. And the next year it will be Fire Rooster. And Rooster as well contains the energy of metal. So the big difference in how we feel and how it's influenced with the start of 2016 is that after quite a long time, the metal is strong again. And what is metal energy? Metal energy is rather strong. It's rather, it's a lot about materialistic things, something that is concrete, is here, is visible. It's also about making things happen. So it's not just about talking, it's very practical, it's very here. Also, metal is about justice. Metal is about systems. So for sure, this will also be a topic of the year 2016, and it continues also to the year 2017 and 2018. But there is an interesting thing, because there is fire and metal. So it's Fire Monkey, and fire forges the metal. So fire controls metal. So the metal cannot really be what it is. It's in the under challenge. Fire is otherwise a very passionate energy, very it can be very fanatic, very happy. Also, there the spirituality goes under fire, and fire can be, the negative side of the fire is that it can be destructive because it burns. But fire cannot really totally destroy the metal, it just forges it. So metal is being transformed. So we are facing this metal transformation of the metal, becoming something else. And so this was from the energy element point of view. And then if we talk about monkey, so as you see this, I choose the photo of a monkey with the iPhone in the water. So it's a naughty monkey, isn't it? And the monkey is known to be very smart, very quick, very unpredictable, also like tricks, like to surprise. It's full of humor in a way, but maybe it's more funny for him. It's very passionate about everything he does. It's also social, cannot do with company, without others. It's very inventive. On the other hand, can be, and it is greedy, not necessarily just about material things, but like greedy for more, for new, for different. Then dislikes control, and it's very success driven. So this energy, so when I talk about monkey, and at the same time I was also talking about the fire monkey that is like that. So when I talk about the fire monkey characteristics, I talk about the energy influences, what kind of energy it is. Because if we compare it to the last year when it was a wood goat, the goat itself is a very much less active energy, is much more how do you say? Sorry, it's much more stagnant energy. Comparing to monkey is a big difference. So what does it mean? It means that the characteristic of the fire monkey tells you that things go very fast. Everything that happens will be unpredictable. You cannot control it. The more you control it, the more you suffer. Then when you take things very, very serious, you will realize that it was just an illusion. It was just a trick to trick you to realize something. So on the other hand, you can't stay away from it because it's a passionate thing. It will somehow find you in a way that you will be interested in. You will have passion and feelings for things that are happening, either in your private life or in around you or in the world scale. Then it's a lot about people. It's about socializing. It's about communities, because the metal that is presenting in the monkey is also the city. It represents the city where there are many people, and they have to work together. How does this work? So it's not just an individual, but how the city, let's say, function, and how is the state, how is the vibe of the city. So it will be in a way that you will be influenced by what is happening around you. It will be very hard to not be involved in the topics of the things around you. Like in last year, energy was a wood goat that allows you to contemplate, to be in your peace, to work on your inner deep things. While fire monkey is much more active. It will not allow you to go away from things. You will have to react. So, and also it's inventive and success driven, as I said. So inventive, he doesn't like old things, doesn't like traditional. For example, the goat is a lot about tradition, is a lot about doing things in an old way or by old rules, while monkey wants something new. So everything that you have learned, you will have to kind of reinvent yourself, reinvent what you do, being inventive, being creative in an inventive way. So how to catch a monkey, how to get a grip on this monkey year. I will talk about the monkey as an animal, although, as I said before, it's about the elements that are inside containing in the monkey as symbol of energies. Because I personally like monkeys. I mean, I generally like animals, and I moved to Netherlands where they have very different, very liberal laws. I was curious if people can have a monkey at home, if this is like allowed. So I checked there, they have a page about it. Not really that I would have a monkey, but I was just curious. And what they warn you right away, like, you must know, having a monkey as a pet, by the way, they don't allow it. Having a monkey as a pet is not like having a dog. He will be very social, but you will not really control him. So either you will have it in a cage or leashed, because you can never know when he climbs, where he jumps. It's very hard to train him in that way. Also, it's not like with a dog, you leave him at home and you go somewhere. If you do this to a monkey, he will destroy your house because he simply cannot be alone. So this is one. Then also, like, you cannot tell monkey to sit and wait for food. When you're eating, he will take the food out of your hand because monkey knows what he wants. There is a food, he's hungry, or he likes your banana, so he will just take it. It will not wait, it will not obey. So it's a character that is very independent, it's very proactive itself. Also, as you already know, monkeys are very clever. So one way or another, he will get what he wants. Either he will be cute and charming and charismatic and make you laugh. And if it wouldn't work, he will become very aggressive. And you probably in a zoo heard monkeys scream, and that's quite unpleasant. And when I say how to catch a monkey, I mean, in a way, you can't really catch it. I mean, there is a video on YouTube where you can see how they do catch monkeys. They put a salt into a little hole, and when the monkey grabs it, he can't pull the hand out, and he will never release the hand because he's greedy. Okay, so you can catch it, but when you have it, he will not serve you. This is not in his character. So it's better not to catch a monkey, but just allow him to be a monkey and observe his movement. So you see where it's jumping, because it's very unpredictable. And this is how this year is. Don't try to catch a monkey. Don't try to please a monkey. Don't try to train a monkey too much or control it. Just observe and act quickly as you can. So this, I kind of describe the energy, which is quite restless. It's quite, how to say, impatient energy. So you will not have 5 minutes on your own in a way like, no, I need a break, I need a break. Also, if you will go to a holiday, something will happen that will make you very active again. Also, if you plan, I don't know what kind of retreat, things will be happening where you will be challenged to change your plans or invent something new or change. Somehow it demands a change. It demands innovation and being creative all the time. So monkey really doesn't like traditional. Monkey really doesn't like what is repeating. As well as control. Monkey is a free spirit. So this year will be a lot about freeing from anything that is restraining us, either personally or on a big scale. This doesn't mean a chaos. It means more like finding a better way where the monkey, it's also us, can feel better. It's more fitting to this spirit. So, in general, the monkey year, the fire monkey year especially, is about energy, nuclear power, solar power, because the fire in the monkey actually represents the sun, free energy, inventions, and technological development. So the positive side, the inner need for development is a lot about what I just mentioned. Chinese metaphysics, like Chinese language itself, as you know it, the Chinese characters represents images. So there is always, because there are 60 different combinations of an element and an animal, like in this case, fire monkey, or last year, wood goat, everything can be described as an image in the nature. So the fire monkey would be this image, which is actually the city in the sun. So sun shining over the city. So fire is the sun and the metal is the city, usually a very developed, big city. In that way, you can feel this technological part, this development, this community function system working between many people, different systems coming together, infrastructure, all this is represented through that. While just to compare, it's a very different image from last year, which was a wood goat year. And in the nature, the image of the wood goat would be sand with a little bit of grass, gently moving in the wind. So it's a really different energy from a strong shining over the metal and constructed constructions. So it's a very different energy. So that's why it was probably, you already felt very different, probably quite pushed by the energy of the fire monkey. So if I compare the energies again, just one second. Last year was focus on nature, on earth. This year is focused, as I said, on technology and events and the space, I mean the universe. So it's not so much earth-centered, it's more out, because the sun is not on the earth. So we have actually 5 elements, and they are yin and yang. So we, in the end, get 10 elements. So we have yin fire and yang fire. And out of these 10, and also yin wood and yang wood, and out of these 10 elements, so 10 energies, only the sun is not on the earth. That's why the focus also goes a lot to events in the galaxies, in the, I don't know, other planets. So the science is also looking a bit away, less to the earth, and also looking for inspiration and developments in other planets and in space in general. And if I'm not mistaken, yesterday they just sent some, I don't know, I'm not so good at it, some sonde to Mars or something. So, and the last year, it looked more as individual experience, is more introvert. So it's more about inside, it's more spiritual. It's about tradition. It's about something that was in the past. It's about caring somehow. It's more about caring about, in a way, how you will join your environment in a caring way. Because the inside of the goat is also earth beside the fire, just by the way. So it's about the year was more about contemplating, going very deep. It was not like completely peaceful year, but things were happening inside. So all the bumps, all the tensions, all the things were actually, also the things from outside were triggering things inside us, and were making changing inside of us. So we felt very uncomfortable because it was very personal. It was also, if not aware of it, it was triggering our inner, let's say, blockages or things that we haven't dealt with. And so we were actually learning consciously or unconsciously about our unused skills. Well, this year is more, the last one was introvert, it's extrovert. It's about out, looking outside, and it's much more materialistic. Not just in a way, I don't mean, when I say materialistic, I don't mean that it's just about money, but it's about like whatever we learned, whatever we think, we have to prove in a everyday life. So it's much more, it's a year of manifestations this year, and actually the next year as well. So and it's absolutely modern. It doesn't like traditional. And it's, although there's a lot of talking that ego is being slow, like that we are moving from a 3rd chakra to the 4th chakra, so from ego to heart, these 2 years will be, again, a lot about ego, but probably there will be transformation, because as I say, fire is forging the metal. So there will be maybe even there some kind of differences. And this will be all on the outside. So active on the outside, you must be also, if you don't want, you cannot go away. And you have to invent or reinvent yourself, how to do the best use of what you learned, let's say, last year. So when I say all these things, is also that the year before last year, which was 2014, the wood horse year, it's where all this package of how things go and these influences started. It was a very wild horse that initiated all these things that are happening and we are witnessing now. It was quite wild, and this is where all these tensions started. And last year, as we witnessed the ISIS and become even stronger, and all the terrorist attacks and so on. It's bit, I said that the last year was traditional. So you can see, if you look at the IS, so not to call it ISIS, so IS is using a very primitive, first of all, ideology. Second of all, the way they fight or they show power is very primitive. And if I understand right, their concept is to establish a very, let's say, old-fashioned of, I don't know, world. So this year, there is a need for a modern. So this year, for sure, this cannot succeed. So there will be a big clash through that. And if there would be aggression, as we will see later on, for sure, we will witness something that is not in this primitive, old-fashioned way of cruelty. So this was initiated in 2014, wood horse. Last year in the wood goat, actually the world had a chance, like population of the world, humanity had a chance to go actually inside, to experience things inside, consciously or unconsciously, and to see how to take all the things that are happening around us, and how to approach what is actually the new way that is coming now in 2016. So we were not aware of what is coming, but we had a chance to raise our consciousness. And only in 2016 we will see what actually I'm sorry, I cannot move it further. Wait. Okay. Will happen, because already back in 2013, I realized, when I was analyzing a little bit, that the year 2016 is gonna be a pretty bad year. I was quite shocked, and the more I looked at it, the more I felt bad, but then I left it. And then in the very beginning of last year, I started to feel that all these things, before everything happened, could really become true. And these are the things I wrote here, because the fire monkey, you know, when you put a monkey and you don't allow him things, or like, it's gonna get very aggressive. It has no tolerance, doesn't care how he gets what he wants. It's a lot about violence, because fire and metal is also like a bomb, is like exploding. So it's also about terrorism, because they're quite popular with using bombing attacks. It's, on the other hand, also a lot about fanaticism, because fire as such is spiritual. It's about spiritual. But when there is too much fire, it becomes fanatic. So it's about religions and the war inside of religions, what we are already witnessing. So the story the topic I just started, so it was initiated in the wood horse year, because it was a very, very strong fire year. Last year, it was about how will we deal with it, how it will develop us in a spiritual way. And this year, it's all about decisions. It's about how these decisions will be made. Will we be able to tolerate things? It will be a challenge. Now I talk about in a global way. And as I said, the last year brought a lot of these traditional looking and traditional opinions, also through right-wing, wing parties becoming stronger. Then again, the horrible story with the refugees coming in. This really stir a lot of prejudice, and this year is about to, let's say, explode. And we will see how much the world population managed to change in the last year, because either there will be a third world war, or please don't, I hope I don't make you too much worry, or there will just simply be collapse of established systems, because the monkey will not allow that it goes further like that. And it will be very unpredictable. It will be in a way that also, by knowing things, it's hard to predict. So, because the war means a big transformation, big change in all ways. But it can be that I really believe it, that the consciousness has been, a collective consciousness has risen that much by witnessing all the cruelty that we did last year, that it will allow that there will just be a big changes inside of established systems. Either, I don't know what exactly, but either that be the way the capitalism is or the way the democracy is. So, but it's modern. So we can hope that it will bring a new way. Oh yes, and I mentioned Trump because lately he's becoming really, like, whatever you open, it's about him, and he's getting quite a lot of support. And it also reflects in a fire monkey, okay? In a way, because he's a businessman, a very materialistic person. So he's really, in this moment, and let's say not so sophisticated, at least in the way he talks. So in this way, it reflects the society we are in, the moment we are in. And on the other hand, people started to look at things very practically and very, as I said, judgmental before. So it's really, in a way, his moment. And I mentioned before ego, that ego will be really the topic. If you look, it's the year where there is a sun, and sun is always only one, and it's symbolizing the solar system. Everything turns around the sun. So this year, in a way, will still be about someone who is, let's say, obsessed with himself, not caring about others. But again, there's these two energies, the fire and the metal is actually stronger in this story. So also the sun will not really be able to succeed in his negative way and destructive way. So we will also witness probably quite a lot going on in entertainment business. This will be one of these main topics, because fire also represents singing, dancing, performances, entertainment, and so probably it will be about music. Maybe there will be some really big breakthrough. Again, there is it will be a lot about reality shows, selfies, internet popularity, then this self-obsessed thing that is getting even ridiculous. It's going to be also a lot about illusions, because in a way, Fire Monkey is also creating something that can look nice and charming and amusing and actually charismatic. I wrote blindness because I actually like the sun shining on the metal. If you imagine like surface, it blinds you, so you can't really see. You can't see what is right, and it's like a sudden thing, and you have to kind of even look away. In that way, people can be blinded by strange ideas or strange charisma, which can be through all these either people on TV or media, or it can be by politicians, even by some spiritual gurus or similar. So this year will also touch the topics, and these will be also quite big topics. The conspiracy theories are already becoming much more popular. This is because the year of the goat was going deep and bringing from inside to the surface. So this will become as believed as the by now mainstream truths. So we will not really know even more what is the truth now, because everything can be the truth. So this is like a continuation of last year, when I said that the people will stop believing what they're hearing. And so this, like, there will be more. So also in the way the science is developing, some things that before were not accepted by science might this year become quite accepted and very powerful and used by science. Then there will be, I mean, there are already existing researches of how to use Asian technologies, but this, and especially like last year, maybe many topics came out, but new information, and they discovered many things. But in year 2016, there will be inventions coming out, like and concrete use of some Asian technology. We can kind of expect that. And this will then continue. It's not just like 1 year, but this will be kind of a start of it. And then I wrote space, aliens, whatever aliens. I don't really think the UFO but necessarily, but like aliens, like being more accepted by mainstream and like, let's say, star people and similar topics. This will become stronger and stronger, and people will be more and more, as we can already see, interested in space. So not just about the Earth, as I mentioned before, and like global problems and global things. These will be the topics. Then, in a way, fire as a sun, as a light versus metal. As I said, this is a big fight between them. They don't support each other. We can compare it to light versus darkness, or it's also like duality about topics. So it's some kind of energy wars going on between that, or the way the perception of light and darkness is maybe changing. And as it might be that it doesn't mean that duality it will look stronger this year. So there will be more darkness, even more darkness, and more aggression, as I said, and more of bad news. But this is because the light is stronger, and it will make more contrast. So that's why it will look more, although actually it will not be more, and it's actually kind of being forged, it's being changed. And there is also one thing, as I said before, the blindness. So there will also be a lot of fake light, however you understand that. So the things that look good or promising will actually not be good or positive. And also there will, as I said, the space and this orientation to other planets, this kind of awareness that there are more dimensions, and that this is gonna be a big thing, and there will be probably scientific proofs of that, or even techniques. In a common, let's say, business and industry, the main topics, but like really the main topics of this year are energy and technology. And there is the fire monkey itself really represent the nuclear power. And of course there is like nuclear things automatically sound negative. But on the other hand, if the nuclear energy, we know that it can be used very useful, and it's like enormous energy. It's so strong, strongly concentrated. So it's a very, very powerful, and the topic will be how to use it even further to serve the humanity and the earth. And of course, solar power this year will probably start to become more and more used in different ways that we know now. Not just the solar panels, like different, everything, it will be in a quite different way that we think it can be used. Also free energy, more and more. This will be the main topics, the main fields. Here I wrote fire and metal industries are the strongest, and probably you don't know whether fire and metal industry. So fire, I mentioned a little bit before, is entertainment business, performing, also movies, then spiritual, religions, any kind of spiritual work, then oil industry, then anything connected with planes or aviation, while metal and also others, also of course computers, IT and so on. Then metal industry is technology again, and car industry and all kind of development there, and anything that has to do with metal, which can also be related to maybe that some kind of new ways how the metal will be used. So also the other metals, that like maybe they will create a new new way of treating metal. On the other hand, the water, so let's say for those who are into investing in so on, so to invest in fire or metal industry will for sure be good, give good results, and it's a good investment. Then water and earth industries are the weakest. The water industry is to transport, everything that's about moving, transport, let's say like tourism, everything that has to do with water or liquids. Also the cleaning industry. This will be weak. So no matter if it kind of looks good or promising in a matter of that will it make profit, it will not, and it will be challenged a lot. And then earth industry, earth is about property, real estate. So this is always like, when we come to investment, is always like, what is it good? Because if the earth is weak, that means that it will be easier to buy property for a good price, but it will be bad for those who want to sell, because maybe they will have to sell and will have no other choice, but will not be able to sell it for a good price. So in a way, it's good for those who are buying. Then wood industries are being transformed and are becoming more efficient and useful. Under wood industries, we consider everything that has to do with wood, but also the education system. Oh, I forgot to say about metal, the whole banking and financial industry is under metal industry, which is quite important. So for many years now, the metal was weak. And this year, because there is fire controlling the metal, we will probably experience a big change or transformation on the topic of finance, financial and banking systems. And so I don't really imagine how this is going to be, but finally there will be some either reconstructioning and some solutions for it. And sorry, now I'm going back to wood industries, which is healthcare and education. So there will probably start a new way of how the education is gonna look like. Also in the healthcare, there will be quite some changes, which we already witnessed. There were many problems appearing, and there will probably be developed new ways, because the monkey will force the wood, because the metal cuts the wood, to become useful. So there will be solutions, which is actually good. But when it's about investing, it's not really the best field to invest, because it's very unpredictable. Also, under wood industry goes all the food industry. So everything about the food, from a crop to producing bread to whatever food. But the restaurants go under fire. Okay, so oh yes, this would be when if we talk about the different fields of industries. And actually, just before this webinar started, I remember that I haven't really checked what happened 60 years ago, because we are in a very similar year. So just before I already had the presentation finished, I quickly Googled and I found a very interesting things. The first, these are just few, but I didn't have time to type all of them. But the first nuclear plant for commercial supplies started in the world, and it was in UK in the year 1956. Hard disk drive was introduced by IBM. The first time ever videotape, the first time ever video recorder went on sale. There was the first phone connection working between transatlantic, quite impressive. There are also other things. There was actually a big difference, a big development in embryology. They managed for the first time to develop in vitro 8-celled embryo from a mouse. So this was probably the very, very beginning of IVF, which today is quite big. And it's a really, really new technology of how even humans have been developed, born. Then there are even more. Then first black and white portable TV sets were being sold. There was vaccine developed for polio. What else do I have? It was the first time introduced carbon dioxide theory of climate change. So it's like 60 years ago that this was introduced. And we know that right now the climate change topic is very, very big. Then on the other hand, in Egypt, the Suez crisis started. And Israel attacked Egypt, UK and France were bombing Egypt. And then after there was petrol, different agreements around oil and petrol. So interesting part of the world, no? That there was actually an attack in the Middle East. And then Warsaw Pact troops invaded Hungary when there was October Revolution. So quite a wild thing happening in Europe. Then Fidel Castro, his brother, and many others, also Che Guevara, arrived with a boat to Cuba. And in that year, the Cuban Revolution was starting before, but in that year, in Cuba, they managed to establish core leadership, and this then was the start of the story of Fidel Castro in Cuba. So quite some revolutionary and also war things. And on the other hand, it's important to mention that quite some countries in Africa gained independence from UK and France. Then US was testing H-bomb in Bikini Atolls. Also, again, it's about energy. In Russia, on the other hand, Khrushchev had a speech where it was first time that somebody there, but he condemned Stalin. So this was a big change for the Russia itself. Although the Stalin was already 3 years old, but this was the start of changing the whole system. So there were quite some things happening that fit to the predictions or descriptions of the energy of this year. Also, then, on the other hand, in the entertainment business, Elvis Presley first time appeared on TV in US, and in that way released his first hit. And we know that this caused a big mania afterwards, and completely different direct music style. Then it was Grace Kelly's wedding in that year. Then there was My Fair Lady was performed for the first time in Broadway, and it caused a big impact and strengthened the popularity of musicals. Also, what I found very funny is that David Copperfield was born in that year. Well, I mentioned that Fire Monkey is about magic, charisma, illusions. So one of the most popular magicians was even born in that year. So yeah, I just included that part into the presentation. And now I would maybe refer a little bit also personal approach to it, or individual, let's say. Just 1 second. Oops. So careers, I already mentioned different fields. If you are in a field of fire or metal, you can expect a very good and prosperous year. If you are in other fields, there can be some shifts and some unexpected changes. The year is most challenging for those that were born in February. They can for sure expect big, let's say, problems or unexpected turn of events that you will probably experience as unpleasant. Then there are changes for those born in months of April, May, August, and December. For these four, it's not necessary that these changes are bad, but it will be quite, as I said, unexpected, and you might feel forced into things, but it's actually for a good cause. Then next topic would be relationships. This year in general, so not just about wife, love relationships. But in general, between people, it's the year of many betrayals and a lot of ungratefulness and very many things behind the back, or disappointments in the relationships. And it, in a way, looks quite unpleasant. But on the other hand, as I said, monkey is very social and very charismatic. So there will be a lot of going on. There will be many sparking new relationship happening, but probably, and it might be for many of us that we will meet an interesting people and charismatic, but it's quite possible that I say this especially for those who are looking for love relationships, that the things will not last, because the new relationship will make you change the way you are, or the way you are in relation to others. So it is a little bit challenging year. You can be easily charmed and easily impressed, but then there is a trick behind it. So if you expect that and don't take time before you make decisions, it can all turns well. But when I said about friendship and betrayals, so it's usually about people that are already close to you, and actually you already had a very good experience, and then suddenly for some reason this person, and this is also about business relationships, surprise you with unusual news, or you find out suddenly something unpleasant. Because monkey in a way is quite selfish and just cares to get what he wants. So these will be quite obvious, especially for those who have tiger and snake in their chart. They're the ones who were experiencing that more. On the other hand, this year, as I said, monkey is very independent and individual. So this year is giving us a chance to stop reacting victim consciousness. Victim consciousness is that we think that somebody else is reason for the things that are happening to us. This can be like the government or the society or the bad fire monkey year, or a husband or a friend or a boss. But this year, everything that we want to control about others, and we will not work. So we will be left alone with ourselves and having a chance to realize that actually it's all about us. So there's no guilt outside of you, which means it's your choice. Either you be a victim or you be a winner. And it might be hard for some, but the result will be good, because the moment we start being a victim, we gain our power back and we become in charge of our life. Also, it's an excellent year, but for gaining freedom, any kind of freedom of old patterns, family stories, things that repeat in life, that all these kind of things we can get freed of. It will probably be through some challenging moments, but if you remember, that it's about getting free and being in charge on your own, then actually we can be happy about it. This can be also, I hear talk about relationships, so it can be like between two people. So when I said here being independent, it's also about like there are many relationships that where people are codependent or they're narcissists, and like some people who are like vampires, sucking the energy, and all kind of patterns like that. This year is about getting completely independent, like energetically independent from others' influences or tricks or manipulations. So it brings this kind of possibility. Also learning about if you are doing such things or you are being dependent on someone's, let's say, opinion or mood. This year will, because the monkey never lets you sleep, will give you a chance that you improve, that you realize, that you start seeing it. And if for some people it will not be easy, it will not be overnight, but the monkey will make you so tired that you will give up of the old and choose the new. So in that way, it's very positive. And as I said, the monkey has all these also negative sides and its aggression and all that. But as such, monkey is not a dangerous animal for real. So it just seems like that. It just looks like that. So don't take things too serious. It's just some kind of game or a trick, an illusion. And wait a little bit and you will see what is it about for real. So this is the way how you will be able to go through shocking moments or surprises or disappointment easier. Because monkey, after all, is also about humor and fun and good time. Just until you don't start to control him. So when I say control is like, let's say in a relationship, it's like being possessive, being putting rules to others or to yourself, limiting yourself. So this freedom is about freedom from limitations that usually we also put to ourselves. So it's about being free from all kind of patterns that we might be influenced by, or that we were raised like that. So all the traditional things are gone. So it will force us to even more open and become more, let's say, modern, but modern in a way that we don't know yet. So monkey is about really new, that we don't know it yet. So it's a especially good year for rats, monkeys, dragons, and snakes, in the way that they can expect to meet somebody important or make important in a way for their life, or find the right partner, either in a personal love relationship or in a business. Then I will also touch the topic of health. This year, the health issues can be quite a topic. It's a especially bad year for anything related to lungs, which is like respiratory problems, infectious diseases, flus, and similar. Then allergies, which are related either to the lungs and breathing or to the digestive system. So there will be a lot of digestive issues, especially the organs, liver, gallbladder, also spleen can be affected. So these are the main problems. So it's very good to take care this year of a healthy diet, As well, when it comes to lungs, to take extra care to not catch a cold, to quit smoking or similar things, and to actually walk in nature, because the year can bring a lot of pollution, like air pollution, the way it is, because it's like, as I said, it symbolizes a massive city. So also all the bad bad effects like that can it's a lot about air in general, so can be problems like that. When it comes to digestive issues, it's also about food poisoning, or so these kind of things can happen. As I said, everything related to fire monkey is unexpected. Then accidents, it's a year that is very bad for having accidents, like car accidents and similar, and some extreme sports are really not recommended, especially in the month of February that already passed, and August. These kind of injuries are most common for the legs, arms, and the spine. So those who already have a problem with that, this year you should take extra precautions. And in general, it's bad for, worst for, it's already written, tigers, people who have wood and fire day element. I didn't go so much into day element and the animals in this presentation, because I'm not sure how much the listeners are familiar with these topics. And it's also always very personal and individual, depends on your whole chart, not just on these few parts of your chart. It's also a year of infectious diseases, viruses, and epidemics. So even more of that will be a topic this year. We can expect it. But on the other hand, there can also be many new cures developed this year. Even the new way of curing can be expected in 2016. In general, everything I was talking about, the negative side of it, is the worst in February and August, because this is when the energies are most unstable. Also, the whole summer, it will be quite tense, because in summer the fire is stronger, so there will be more tensions. The things will be very, let's say, explosive. Also, when I mentioned the health, the whole year is rather affecting people to be more nervous, more irritating, feeling discomfort, because the fire and metal are making such atmosphere. And also whole autumn, when the metal is even stronger. What is recommended is to spend time in nature, but not too active, and to work something with the earth, like digging or building something. These kind of activities can calm these kind of tensions. Also, any kind of, let's say, grounding techniques and walking barefoot in nature is something that can easily and quickly bring balance when you feel very uncomfortable. This would be all from my side for now. If there are any questions, if we have time.
I'd just like to say thank you, first of all, and if anybody is running out of time, I will send out a recording. If you've got some questions and you want to stay, that's really helpful. One thing I just wanted to say is that, because it doesn't sound good this year, and I remember when we talked about it a few months ago and you almost didn't want to talk about it, just to keep remembering when things don't feel good, that a lot of that influence is coming from the year and it's not necessarily coming from you, because it takes the pressure off so much if you can do that. And to understand that if you can handle that pressure and learn through it, there's a tremendous upside. And this is what I've found repeatedly. There's a tremendous upside to kind of mastering the energy of the year rather than caving into it. So although it can be really challenging at times to handle different kinds of energy, if you learn how to handle it and how to find more peace with it, there are incredible benefits that come from that. And if you want to have a look at your own personal chart or find out how this year is going to affect you personally, then get in touch with Aleksandra. I'll send out her email when I send out the recording, because she can do personal readings for you so that you can find out exactly what you can expect. The details get even a lot more interesting than the general picture. Once you put your personal energy together with the energy of the year, you can see more clearly what patterns are going to affect you and how to deal with those patterns. Okay, if you have any questions, please either just unmute yourself and speak, or write something in the chat down below so that I can see it and then I can pick up the question. No questions, or shy? Nobody wants to start?
Hi, Alice. How do you say your name?
Aleksandra.
Aleksandra. Alex or Aleksandra is fine.
When you say about if people were born in February, does that go with, like, if people are born in January, it's different for the Chinese year? You know, they start in the year before. So when you say people born in February, does that affect people in the January, if you know what I mean, in the Chinese
I know what you mean. Whether you mean, no, I didn't mean that. I meant, no, I meant the month of February. That is actually a Chinese month of February, which is from 4th of February till 4th of March, because this is the month of a tiger. That's why.
Okay.
And in a chart itself, it's the month represents career. That's why I can say it in general, because I can be sure about it. That the other parts of the chart is not so easy to determine without calculation.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Somebody else? Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much for showing up. I'm sure you found it very useful. Thank you very much to Aleksandra for creating that presentation, putting all the information together for us in such a kind of succinct way that we can grasp more easily. I will send out the recording. I'm wondering, Aleksandra, if we could send out the presentation as well, because I thought it was really useful as a summary, the actual slides. Would you be willing to do that?
Oh yes, absolutely, no problem.
I think that would be quite cool to include with it, so that, because I was thinking, it'd be useful to just refer back to that from time to time and just have this summary of information of what this year is all about.
There's one little thing I didn't mention, is actually that because monkey is so fast, the influence of the monkey year started also a little bit earlier than February. So what is happening right now is a little quietness. So it's a very good to prepare, because it's a bit mitigated, to prepare what is coming. But it's not all bad, especially for those people who like new things and new futuristic ideas. And you know, we've all been quite repressed as humanity and through all these systems. And monkey, the positive side of the monkey is that there will be there are coming new good things that we will all like. So also in a private life, you can look that things will change afterwards in a much more liberating and delighted way. Just to correct if it sounded too horrible.
Thanks for the good news.
And I thank everyone to join. I'm really glad that you found time. And also I thank Sarah for organizing it.
Okay, thanks very much. And I'll send out the recording within the next few days.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everybody.